Good afternoon, friends. Today we will talk about the most relevant events in the world. In our program, Russian air defenses intercept 8 US-made HIMARS rockets in Ukraine operation. If Zelensky was killed, Ukraine lost competent military leader, DPR official. Kyiv may be plotting false flag operation involving spent nuclear fuel in Kharkov, source. Another hostile act by Kyiv, Kremlin on sabotage attempts on Russian nuke power plants. And so let's get started. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov branded attempted attacks on Russian nuclear power plants as a continuation of hostile actions by the Kyiv regime, noting that Russian law enforcement is engaged in fighting terrorists. Indeed, this information has become public knowledge. Hostile actions against our country by the Kyiv regime continue, as does the special military operation, the Kremlin official said on Thursday. Replying to a question about reports of attempted sabotage against Russian nuclear power facilities, he noted that responsibility for the attempted attacks rests with those terrorists who were perpetrating this while law enforcement is battling these terrorists. Speaking of how the saboteurs managed to infiltrate Russia and which measures could be taken in reaction to this, Peskov suggested that the press address such inquiries to the relevant agencies. These are questions for the special services, in this case, the FSB, he said. As the Russian Federal Security Services Public Relations Center told TASS earlier, on the eve of May 9th, Victory Day, an attempt by Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service to commit sabotage at 2 nuclear power plants in the Leningrad and Tver regions of Russia was thwarted. The FSB noted that an attempt was made to blow up over 30 pylons of high-voltage electric power lines which, as plotted by the Ukrainian secret services, would have shut down nuclear reactors, disrupted the regular operations of nuclear facilities and caused serious economic and reputational damage to the Russian Federation. The terrorists managed to blow up 1 pylon and plant mines around 4 pylons of the Leningrad NPP's high-voltage electric power lines, as well as plant improvised explosive devices under 7 pylons of the Kalinin NPP's high-voltage electric power lines. The press service noted that as a result of measures taken, the following members of the sabotage and terrorist group had been detained: Ukrainian nationals Alexander Maystruk, born in 1978, and Eduard Yusatenko, born in 1974. Meanwhile, Yuri Kishchak, born in 1963, a dual national of Ukraine and Russia who is currently in Belgium, was placed on the wanted list. A criminal case was opened against the terror group's members under Article 281, Part 1 and Article 222, Part 1, illegal acquisition, transfer, sale, storage, transport, shipping or carrying of explosive substances or devices, of the Russian Criminal Code. The first charge carries a punishment of up to 20 years of incarceration, while the second entails from 6 to 8 years behind bars. The perpetrators have been arrested and are in the process of giving confessions. Kyiv may be plotting to stage a false flag operation in which a spent nuclear fuel depot in Kharkov would be blown up so as to then pin the blame on Moscow. A source familiar with Ukrainian plans told TASS on Thursday. Given the Kyiv regime's lack of success on the battlefield in its confrontation with Russia, there is a high probability that they will attempt to stage yet another headline-making false flag. They may blow up a storage facility for spent nuclear fuel in Kharkov and afterwards accuse Moscow of bombing the nuclear facility, the source warned. Given the absence of any harsh response to Kyiv's terror attacks on Russian soil from the UN, the OSCE or other international organizations, it is entirely possible that the Zelensky regime will decide to carry out such an inhumane plan, he added. Any such potential disaster could cause damage not only to eastern Ukraine, but also to Russia, Belarus, and EU countries, he maintained.